Hello, everyone, and welcome to my presentation on the foundations of digital forensics by Ian Webb, and this is for ITEC 6200. Okay, so before we get into the actual presentation, we have to first define what digital forensics is. So digital forensics is essentially the science of investigating evidence that exists in digital form. It's played a key role in criminal, civil, and corporate investigations, and it has a growing importance in cybercrime and law enforcement. The need for skilled forensic investigators is greater than ever. In this presentation, we'll be covering the foundations and techniques, along with the software tools digital forensic investigators use. Then we'll be looking at a case study that has involved digital forensics, and we'll wrap it all together by focusing on the future outlook of this field. Why is digital forensics important? Digital forensics is becoming increasingly important as technology continues to advance. Every device we use, from phones to computers to connected IoT systems, generate massive amounts of data. This data becomes critical evidence across a wide range of cases. In corporate and cybersecurity incidents, it helps uncover data theft and network breaches. In financial and personal crimes, it's used to investigate online fraud and identity theft. Even in traditional crimes, such as burglary, assault, or murder, forensic analysts of phones, GPS data, or surveillance systems can tie suspects to a location or a victim. Even in the corporate world, digital evidence plays a central role in investigating white-collar crimes such as embezzlement, corporate fraud, or extortion. Next, we're going to be looking at the types of digital forensics. So digital forensics can be broken down into several types. Computer forensics investigates evidence on desktops, laptops, and external hard drives. Their goal is to examine the digital data and identify, preserve, recover, analyze, and present the facts on this data. Mobile device forensics primarily focuses on smartphones and tablets, which often hold things like location data, messages, and app histories. Network forensics monitors and reconstructs communication across networks, which is especially important in tracking intrusions or tracing cyber attacks. Forensic data analysis, or FDA, examines structured data found in application systems and databases. This is specifically within the context of financial crime. They also detect and analyze patterns of fraudulent activity. And last but not least, we have database forensics, which investigates databases and changes made to data. This also applies to fraud, identifies database transactions that indicates fraud, or alternatively may focus on specific time steps where things are happening, just to make sure that everything looks good and anything doesn't look suspicious. The digital forensic process follows a consistent framework to ensure evidence is handled correctly. It first begins with the collection phase. This involves acquiring digital evidence, normally by seizing assets such as computers, hard drives, or phones. This is where investigators determine which devices or data sources are relevant to the case. Next comes the examination, which ensures the data is not altered, often by creating exact forensic images of drives or capturing volatile memory. The three things that you need to remember for the examination phase is prepare, extract, identify. Next is the analysis stage, where investigators carefully examine the data, recover deleted or hidden information, and interpret logs or metadata. At the same time, while this is going on, everything must be documented, from the hash values used to verify integrity to the tools and methods applied. Finally, investigators move into the reporting stage, which is preparing reports or testimony that can be understood by courts, businesses, or other stakeholders. This is essentially just synthesizing the data to make it more easily digestible in the court of law. And following all the steps in this process ensure that the evidence is both reliable and legally defensible. So digital forensic investigators rely on specific techniques to uncover hidden details. So cybercriminals use steganography to hide the data. So by reversing that, they're able to analyze the data in the specific hashing within a file. Stochastic forensics analyzes and reconstructs digital activity that doesn't generate artifacts. A digital artifact is an unintended alteration of data that occurs due to a digital process. An example of this would be a text file. This helps prevent data breaches from insider threats. Cross-drive analysis, or anomaly detection, helps find similarities to provide context for an investigation. This serves as a baseline to detect suspicious events. It involves cross-referencing info across computer drives to find and analyze and preserve information. Live analysis occurs while the device is running. They're typically searching, extracting volatile data from the RAM or the cache. This typically requires storing the device in a forensic lab to maintain the chain of evidence. Last, you have deleted file recovery, which is essentially what it's called. This helps recover deleted files. They search for fragments of files that were partially deleted in one place but not in others. And this is also known as data carving or file carving. Digital forensic tools can fall into several different categories. You have the disk and data capture tools, which create exact forensic copies of storage media. The file viewing and analysis tools allow investigators to explore documents, logs, and media. The network and database forensic tools help monitor communications or investigate transactions, which again is critical in the financial cases. And then finally, there are specialized tools designed for tasks such as email recovery, registry analysis, or memory forensics. Each one of these categories plays a role in building the full picture of a case. So these are some of the most common open source software forensic tools. The Sleuth Kit offers Windows and Unix-based libraries for data extraction and forensic analysis. This forms with well-known Autopsy and allows users to extract data from storage devices and disk drives. The Sleuth Kit is supported by an open source company and it's compatible with many different file systems as well as Mac and Windows. Autopsy is a computer software that distributes plugins using TKS. It allows investigators to flag relevant pieces of data easily. Autopsy can hash all files and compress them into zip and jar, and they can also extract EXIF values and parse and catalog specialized file formats such as email or contacts files. The Digital Forensics Framework, or the DDF, is another open source solution used by professionals and non-experts to collect, store, and disclose digital evidence. The DDF can actually automate repetitive tasks by running batch scripts. Advanced users typically code these scripts through Python, and they directly import into. A HashKeeper is a database that helps users perform regular forensic checkups on their devices. This uses an MD5 file signing algorithm to establish known good and known bad files. This is designed to reduce time required to scan media files. Then you have a bulk extractor, which is an information extraction solution that scans files, directories, or disk images without damaging the system structure. This allows parallel access to various parts of the disk, and it handles all forms of digital media. Now we're going to be looking at a case study where digital forensics was used, and we'll be taking a look at the BTK killer case, which happened in 2005. So Dennis Rader was a serial killer who killed 10 people in Wichita, Kansas from 1974 to 1991. On the 30th anniversary of his killings, he began taunting the police. He sent the police a floppy disk and thought that it couldn't be traced. But within that floppy disk, forensic investigators examined a Microsoft Word document and recovered metadata from it. That metadata showed that the file had been created at Christ Lutheran Church and edited by a user named Dennis. This was a critical clue since Rader was the president of that church. This combined with the DNA evidence and the surveillance it directly led to his arrest and eventual conviction. This is just one of the ways that digital forensic investigators are able to use these tools to their advantage. Although in this case, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. If his username was Dennis and his name was Dennis Radar, I don't know. That's just a little sidebar, but I feel like anybody could have got that. But hey, I'll give it to this was 2005, so I'll give it to him. Okay, well, now we're going to be looking ahead to the future of digital forensics. And this is not by any means a complete outlook on the future of digital forensics. This is just looking at a couple specific things that could be happening. So, cloud forensics will continue to expand as more organizations are storing sensitive data online. This presents a unique challenges such as data volatility as well as jurisdictional issues. Currently, advanced techniques are being developed to try and mitigate these challenges. As for cloud security, this has become a top priority, obviously, with the going hand in hand with the cloud forensics. They're trying to, think of more ways to protect this, largely stored data sets with encryption or access controls. So, Internet of Things forensics will grow as investigators continue to deal with connected devices, ranging more from smart home assistants to medical implants. And investigators must develop special methods to handle the diversity and volumes of data. At the same time as this, encryption and anti-forensic techniques are making it harder to access the data. So some investigators are turning to AI machine learning, LLM specifically, to help sift through terabytes of information more efficiently. But these systems must be explainable and validated for legal use. Some researchers are also exploring blockchain-based systems to secure the chain of custody. This field will continue to evolve, but the core principles of preservation, analysis, and defensibility will remain the same. So, in conclusion, digital forensics is a vital discipline that combines science and technology to uncover evidence. The forensic process ensures evidence is preserved and analyzed in a defensible way. Investigators use powerful tools to recover data, whether it's from computers, networks, or even mobile devices. The BTK case shows how even the smallest details like metadata can help bring criminals to justice. While challenges such as encryption, data volume, and new devices remain, and the field is still growing rapidly, its importance in law enforcement, corporate security, and legal cases will only continue to increase.